What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's hot as shit outside today. But we're back out in the garage, and as you guys just seen, FedEx was just here, and we finally got freaking M&H tires. Only been waiting on these slicks since before Memorial Weekend. Back order everywhere, man, but we got us some slicks to put on the wheels, put on the car. Pretty excited about getting these things on. It's gonna be lit. It's like the one thing that's prevented me from being at the racetrack is waiting on those slicks. That's why I couldn't make it to Carmageddon, aka Proving Grounds, or you know what I mean. So that's why I couldn't make it to that. I wanted to be at the track this weekend for show and go, but also again, waiting on the tires, and they showed up today, and everybody's joking, see you Saturday, but in reality, there's not enough time for me to get those on, get the car set, and get to the track when I'm 2 hours away to make a pass. It's unrealistic. But there is a bracket weekend in like 2 weeks, I think it is, on the 21st. So maybe we make that Friday test and tune of the bracket weekend. Don't really know yet. But that's what we're doing today. I'm working on the car, trying to work out some bugs, because I just kind of want to get this thing set and ready to go to the track in case it does happen. So the wheels, the tires, I would mount those now and get that done, but probably gonna have to rim screw the inside bead because they're only single bead lock. So I got to talk to Eric and Brad or Unified Racing, because they did on Brad's car. So Brad's welds, they rim screwed the they rim screwed the inside bead, I guess, which I'm looking at these and I don't really know how to do it. I don't know, maybe it's doable. I don't know. All I know is I need to talk to someone because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to screw up the wheel. These things ain't cheap. I don't even want to put holes in them, but apparently that's what people do. I don't know. It's all new to me. It's the first pair of slicks I've ever owned in my life. Right there. First pair. It's always been street tires, or I mean, I've had like sticky race like track street tire things on those, like, but that's it. So yeah, I don't know, it's all a new world. Anyways, so I'm not doing tires today as much as I'd like to, because I would like to adjust the suspension on the car so that the slicks fit. But first things first, I gotta turn that down. So I'm not at the track, but I'm watching the track on their live Facebook feed. That way I was able to watch Brad make 2 passes, I think he made today. The first one was like a 12.6, I think, at 132, if I remember right. And then his second pass, I thought it was a 12, but he just messaged me a little bit ago and said he made it into the 11s. So apparently he made 11 second pass. And he sent me a video, his shifter broke. So I don't really know what happened to the shifter other than it's broke, and it almost looked like you could lift the shifter up out of the socket that it sits in the linkage, but I don't know because I'm not there. But anyways, yeah, I was watching him race, so I got that on in the corner. That's why you're hearing burnouts and everything else. Anyways, I've been doing a lot of this very quickly, talking about things. Yeah, so what am I doing to the car today? Like I said, I'm trying to get workout bugs and things that need to be done before it goes to the track, or things that I know I can do now that I know is a problem. So as you guys remember, in one of the last videos, for previous few videos ago, I replaced the fan. I put in the new Mishimoto fan down here, sandwiched. Apologize, I don't have my light with me. Anyways, between the intercooler and the radiator, there you can see it. There's the fan. So I put that in. But I fired the car up yesterday, which I didn't record because I didn't even think about it until right now. But I fired the car up yesterday. I let it get up to operating temp. Actually, it was like 200 degrees and the fan never kicked on. So my buddy Jake was saying, hey, I got an extra fan switch if you need it. And then I was like, yeah, I forgot about that sensor. Which I actually have an additional one that I pulled off the old single cam slam down here. So I started looking at that, thinking maybe that was the issue. But then I started at bare basics. I'm like, well, let's make sure that the fan is working. So I put 12 volts to the fan and it started spinning and it sounded like crap. What I found out is that the intercooler where I have, you can see this bolt hole here isn't quite perfect. It's because the intercooler was pushed into the fan too much and it was causing the blades not to spin right. So when I hooked power to it, the fan worked, but it made a lot of noise. So I took that bolt out, the intercooler popped forward, and now it spins just fine. So after I did that, I checked the fuses, and then I looked at the relays. Well, I found a bad. Yesterday when it wasn't working, I had flipped relays, thinking the relay was maybe the problem. And, well, I ended up actually flipping a good relay for a bad relay. I figured that out. So now there's a good relay in there. So the only other thing, I was like, well, if it is this fan switch down here on... I need to get a light. Okay, so I said if it is this fan switch, which you can see kind of right there, I've got the plug, got a paper clip in the plug. If it is that, I was like, well, I'll just jumper the plug and then figured I'd just jumper the plug and then be able to see if the fan kicked on, right? Because if you don't know how exactly that fan switch works, the temperature completes the circuit, right? So at a certain temperature, contact closes, and then you get continuity through the two pins. So I figured I'd just jump it, and as soon as I did that, we had power to the fan. So that fan switch down there is most definitely bad. So I'm gonna have to replace that. And like I said, I had the one as a single cam. So I just stuck it on here, hooked my voltmeter to it on continuity, and I took the torch and I just heated up the element here on the end, and then this started beeping as soon as it got warm enough. So I know this is a good switch. So when I go to swap the coolant that's in the motor currently out with water and water wetter, I'll replace this at the same time. And then the fan should be good to go.
2 very boring minutes later.
Okay guys, so I decided what I was gonna do. Figured I ordered these spark plugs for the SI as well as the truck out there, but figured I'd start with the Civic, and I ain't gonna lie, I thought this was gonna be nice and simple. This is gonna be really easy. We get this done in no time. Yeah, I was wrong. I completely forgot how much of a pain in the ass it is to put plugs in this stupid thing. Because you have to remove this like steel cowl deal, the windshield wiper cowl, that all has to come off. And then I also have this Megan Racing strut bar that's in there. So that all had to get removed just to get to the plugs. I tried doing it without removing it, but problem is trying to lift the coil out and boom, 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 you're hitting. So to rip it all down. Which, I mean, whatever. It's just nuts and bolts, but I I don't know, it's like 98 degrees outside and it's freaking hot. It sucks. And I just wanted to do spark plugs. Nice and simple, easy job. And turn into this whole thing. But whatever, we're here now. Now I'm debating, do I just fix the other things that I've been kind of ignoring on this car? You know, like the valve cover, I think has a seep. Oil pressure switch on the back, or the sensor, that's leaking. There's an exhaust leak somewhere. It's a bunch of little crap that I didn't really care about, but now that I'm here, I'm like, should probably dig into it. So I don't know, first things first, I'm gonna throw these stupid spark plugs in. Alright guys, so I got the plugs out, and I don't know, they don't look terrible. They're just, you know, your typical old plugs. I don't remember, it's been a few years since I replaced these things. I don't know, car felt like it was breaking up, so I figured it was a good time to swap these out. Anyways, so got the plugs out. I pulled the oil pressure switch out too. I didn't realize these ones had a fancy plug on the end. So used to the old style where they're just like I have one here. The old style where it's just a pin on the end. I was like, oh, I've got a few of these sitting around and probably just use one of these. And normally on those, it wasn't even like normally it was just, they would leak at the threads. These, I have a feeling oil pushes through the plug. I don't know that for sure, but I guess, you know, dealing in like Ford Power Stroke 6.0s, I've seen that a lot with like ICP pressure switches and stuff. They'll get oil that pushes through. So I mean, obviously this isn't like high pressure oil, but I don't think it is on those either, really. Maybe it is. Well, yeah, it reads like 500 psi, so obviously a different realm, but I don't know. I'm probably just gonna get a new one, but I'm debating on if I want to get one at the parts store or if I want to get an OEM one. You read the reviews at the parts store and they're all like junk. So probably an OEM would be the good way to go, but it's freaking Sunday. Dealer's closed. I can't just go get one today, which sucks because I kind of want to get this done. So I don't know. I might just get a parts store one. We'll see. It's not like it's hard to replace this if the parts store one is junk, but at the same time, I'd rather just do it once and not waste money on 2 plugs. So yeah. You know, if any of you watch Unified Racing and you've seen their newest video, typical GoPro died. Okay, so before that died, I was saying, any of you guys watch Unified Racing on? Alright, so if any of you guys watch Unified Racing and you watch their last video, you'll see right in the beginning, Eric pulls the plug out of the block to drain the coolant. I watched that and I laughed. And then I messaged him and I said, hey man, that was funny. But then it dawned on me, I'm gonna do the same damn thing. Then it wasn't so funny. And guess what I'm doing right now, guys? About to make a giant mess with this here plug. I'm actually gonna try to Snapchat this at the same time. I'd say I'm excited about this, but I'm thoroughly not. Oh, come on. It's almost there. Here it comes. How long is this thing? Well, that's gotta be it, right? Oh, I hear it. All on the last thread. Ah, come on. Oh no. Fuck. Stupid. Oh, it's cold. It actually feels kind of nice. Okay guys, so I got the water, or the coolant dumped out of the race car. And I put in that other fan switch that I had. So hopefully the fan works now. And then I flushed it out, ran a bunch of water through the radiator until it like came out of the block, to try to make sure I get pretty much all the coolant out. I did that, and then I filled it back up with distilled water. I dumped water wetter in there. Probably a little more water wetter than I probably should have put in according to the directions and how big the cooling system is, but whatever. So I did that. It's topped off. Really, I just got to start it and burp system now. But before I do that, I did pick up a new oil pressure switch for the SI. The plugs are in there. I'm going to throw this in, and I can start putting this car back together, and then I can get this outside, I think, and then I'll fire that thing up, and we'll let the cooling system burp, and then we'll see if the fan kicks on as well, because in theory it should. So alright, now that that car's done, that's outside, fire this one up, burp the cooling system, and hope nothing leaks. Let it run, let it get up to operating temperature, burp cooling system for the most part. I mean, they got up to about damn near 200 degrees. Fan still didn't kick on. I swapped out that pressure switch, or not pressure switch, temp switch for the fan. Still didn't kick on. I got it running now, but I just jumped the plug again with the paper clip. The fan turned on, so it tells me that that sensor either it didn't get hot enough to turn on, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know what temp these things are supposed to, the fan's supposed to turn on at, but I didn't think it was 200 degrees. I think it'd be a little less than that, like 170, 180. So, I don't know. Let's figure that out. I might just have to buy a new temp switch, or a new temp switch for the fan and just throw it in there. Because clearly, I mean, this one worked on the bench, and now it ain't working now, so beats me. I have no idea. If anybody's got any ideas on that, put it in the comments below, because as far as I know, that thing should have turned on. I don't know. Like I said, according to the CD7, we're about 200 degrees, so it's got the fan running for now, cool it down a little bit. Should just fire it back up with the fan jumped and just make sure that it maintains a temperature. I don't know. An idea. We'll just hook up the meter to the old sensor, take the torch to it, and see if this one actually was good. Maybe it's not the sensor itself. Maybe there's, I mean, I don't know this for a fact. Maybe there's a setting in HON data for the fan. Kill the fan or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But might as well test this one, and then we can prove that we did have a bad sensor, instead of just assuming it was bad. So I never did test this one when it was in the car, so our meter on, we're on continuity here. Beep, beep, beep. My little gizmo is hooked up here. We do not have continuity at this moment. And then we'll fire the torch back on. Move that for it. Make something go boom. Hear that? So we got continuity. There, it cooled off enough. So clearly that one wasn't bad either. I don't know. Maybe there's a setting. Maybe the ECU is just not commanding the fan on, because the circuit's fine. So the only other thing that there could be is the maybe HON data. I'm gonna have to probably pull up my POS laptop or go Google it, see if there's actually a setting in there to kill the fan, power the fan or something, because obviously it's not coming on. So I'll have to look at that.
I'm not a smart man.
Okay guys, so I'm officially an idiot. I put the wrong fan switch back in the car. I put the bad one back. Okay, so this thing has died now, twice. And I'm on battery number 3. So I figured out why the fan wasn't working. It has nothing to do with Honda S300. I'm an idiot. I put the wrong switch back in the car. So I put the bad one back in the car because I'm an idiot and did not pay attention, and I must have set them next to each other or something, and just, oh, this must be the one that I need to put in the car, and I put it in there and the fan didn't work. We'll go figure. It's the bad one. So I grabbed the other one off of the vise and I put a welding mitt on, took torch to it, heated it up, and with the key on I just plugged it into this plug, the sensor into the plug after I heated it up, and sure enough, fan kicked on. So yeah, I just put the wrong sensor back in, but now the engine's super hot, like 200 degrees or whatever, so I can't just go and pull. I mean, I could just go pull it out, but it's gonna be scalding hot water coming out all over the place. So I'm gonna wait till that thing cools back down, and I'm probably gonna have to pick up more distilled water because I'm probably gonna have to drain the radiator, maybe, or just pull the sensor out and make a mess. Either way, I'm gonna make a mess and I'm gonna need more water, so I'm gonna have to pick up more water. So there's that. So in the meantime, while that was cooling down, I was doing one other thing here, and got the seat out, pulled the driver's side seat. The only thing I never installed was the crotch belt, so I just took the drill quick, popped a hole in the center of the bracket, shoved a bolt through it, so now my crotch belt's in. So now the entire harness is completely installed, and I'll go ahead and throw this seat back in, and yeah, that'll be done. But outside of the seat and eventually getting the right switch back in there, pretty much done with this thing for the day. It is super hot, and I've been at this and the white car. I never did get to the truck yet. I can do that tomorrow or whenever. Put those spark plugs in. Those will be easy. But yeah, it's been a whole day out here, and it is super humid, and I am over it, and I'm ready for a shower. So I'm gonna get the seat done, get this thing back in the car, and deal with this switch tomorrow or whenever the engine's cool. But appreciate you guys all stopping by, checking out this video. Hopefully it was somewhat entertaining, and if you just give it a like anyways, even if it sucked. So appreciate all of you for stopping by, hanging out, watching me work on these cars. Hopefully here the next video we're getting the slicks on the wheels and then getting the suspension set on this thing, so that I can get an alignment done on it, and then briefly after that hopefully get out to the track and make a pass finally in this thing. So anyways, I've been talking forever. I'm just gonna shut up and leave. Appreciate you. Peace.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. Done staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Done staying strong, need to move on.